Since the dawn of civilization, the elusive quest in pursuit of the perfect drink continues to evolve. Now more than ever, we reap the rewards of this passion. The perfect vintage, the finest brew, or a spirit of optimum age and class. And now, SoFloRadio.com invites you to discover the wonderful world of booze by the glass.
Hey, welcome to By the Glass. I'm your host, Brett Hubbard, and I'm welcoming you to explore a wonderful world of wine, beer, spirits, and everything in between. I'm joined by my guest host, Jason.
Hey, now.
I've been bad and crazy on the board.
Very exciting open.
Yeah, man, intern Dio in the back. He's going to be hooking us up this whole time. And very, very pleased to announce Mr. Casey Phipps joining us for the Super Bowl Challenge. Casey, welcome to the studio, my man.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, Casey is the beer examiner, craft beer examiner for the Sun Sentinel.
Right. No, just examiner.com.
Examiner.com,
Right.
which is even better, cooler. Hey,
Yeah.
Sun Sentinel is like a newspaper.
Absolutely.
Nobody reads those anymore.
They're going down.
All right? Everybody's on the internet.
Newspaper?
Which is what we want to see. It's such an old concept. But, yeah, we invited him in to do our Super Bowl Challenge show. This is a show where we match them head-to-head. Now, as everybody knows, it's going to be San Francisco against Baltimore. And couldn't be better because exciting, what? Beer towns.
Beer, good beer comes from both
You thought I was
places.
going to say football teams, didn't you, Jason?
No.
But I'm not. I'm going to say beer towns because this show, if it's not about anything, it's not about politics and it's not about sports. Unless we do something like today when we can like tie it in for all you sports fans out there. Yeah. Anyway, so we're going to have a wonderful show. And, yeah, it's great to have Casey here because Casey's a multifaceted guy like myself. You're a guitar teacher.
Exactly, yeah.
How'd you get into that?
How'd I get into that? Kind of stumbled into it, really, by
That's good.
accident. I just, started playing when I was younger, and it's like, hey, you know what I want to do when I get out of school is like just find
That's great,
go with your
man.
passion, really.
That's
So-
great. No, you got to follow your passions. Jason and I are both musicians ourselves, and we absolutely love it. So this we got some really great beer that is going to be coming up against each other because they're two really great beer towns, and of course narrowing it down to some really great breweries. Now, of course, we start out with Anchor Brewing Company. I mean, you can't get more iconic, more classic than Anchor Brewing Company. Where do I begin?
Absolutely.
How about 1976-ish? Haight Street, San Francisco.
Is that where you begin?
Fritz Maytag sitting in a bar.
1896, is that what you said?
That's what I said. Is that what I said? I thought I
think
said
it's
1976.
76.
Yeah.
It started in 1896.
I know that's where it started, but my story starts in 1976.
That's what I thought.
Fritz
That's what I
Maytag
thought. I
sitting in a
totally picked
bar.
up on that.
Yeah, and
I'm the
anyway,
one.
so he's sitting in a bar. A guy walks into a bar and says, "Hey, they're going to shut down the Anchor Brewing Company," and Fritz loves the Anchor Brewing Company. So what does he do? He buys it, and he turns it into one of the most iconic American craft breweries in the world. So why did he do that? Because I think that he had the abilities, A, and he had the foresight, B, and he had the passion that you really need to make something like that happen in America. It is the American story. It's the iconic American story, therefore one of the iconic true breweries. So we're very pleased to be pouring just an absolute bevy of their wonderful stuff today. We got this Anchor Steam, which I don't know if everybody really knows Anchor Steam.
That's a classic beer,
It's a
right?
classic
Yeah.
beer. And you know why it's classic? Because there's not a lot of beers like it. It's a hybrid. And being a hybrid is a very interesting beer. So let's work our way over to 1850s, Jason. I'll give you that, okay? Germans start to influx into America, right? Pre-Prohibition. You got guys like Adolphus Busch, right? Making big beers. So what happens is they move into California, but what happens is it's different is that they can't make their wonderful lagers in California because why? Pre-refrigeration. And they don't have those really nice caves to dig into the side of in California that's going to get down into like the 30s and 40s so they can lager properly like they want to. So what do they end up doing? They end up using their lager yeast to make an ale. Because it's a lager that ferments at ale temperatures because they couldn't get the temperatures low enough. So they create a new kind of beer. They create a California Common. And they call it steam beer because when they crack open the kegs, steam just mists off the top. It's an absolutely amazing story. It's a truly iconic beer. There's a lot of California Commons out there, but Anchor Steam, really, they trademarked the term steam beer. I think in the 80s, and they've been the true original American steam beer ever since.
I've just kind of been used to the lager term. You know, it's like it's always been a good go-to beer. You can session on it. You know,
Yeah.
you can just it doesn't get old.
It doesn't. The interesting thing about it is you're exactly right, Casey. It has a great lager drinkability, but it has a lot of stone fruit. It has a lot of apricot, those kinds of little bit of spice that you get from those fruit esters you get from an ale, and that's why it's such a great hybrid.
Does Flying Dog have something that compares to it?
Yeah, and we're going to compare them tonight. We're going to see
All
if you
right.
can pick between the two, and we're also going to see which one's better in your eyes, Jason.
And we'll be getting to that pretty soon, right?
We will, absolutely. Oh, I get the hint.
We'll see which one's better in
All
your
right, so let's
mouth.
start them up. Yeah, so we're going to do quarters here like we do. And no, I don't mean quarters like you played in college, but we should do a quarter show one day.
Absolutely.
Good. I didn't go to college.
Casey, we did a light
I
beer
just-
show once where we actually took like 5 light beers and we did a blind taste
Yeah,
test on them all.
absolutely.
We rated them against each other, and Jason picked Coors Light as the winner.
No, I did
Yes,
not.
you did.
I?
Out of
Oh.
Bud and Miller and all the rest of them.
Maybe. I don't remember.
Out of all those Coors
I must
Light
have been
is the-
missing. I must have took that day off. I don't remember that.
No, you know what? You did
Coors
take
Light
that day
is
off
not
because you
my
weren't
favorite
even
beer.
producing the show back then. Anyway, we should play a quarter show. All right, so the first quarter
agree.
in our Super Bowl matchup show, we're going to have Anchor Steam against Flying Dog Old Scratch Amber. Now, great beer. Let's talk a little bit about Flying Dog. Flying Dog is iconic because they're a little bit newer, but they're out of that Baltimore region. And they have a lot of people behind them that's... Well, first of all, they got a great brewmaster, Matt Brophy. He's going to be calling in, and we're absolutely ecstatic to have him on because he makes amazing beers. But they also have links to people like Ralph Steadman, who does all their artwork. So if you've ever seen Flying Dog artwork and the labels, it's absolutely amazing. Casey, what do you think?
I mean, I'm a huge Hunter S. Thompson fan.
Yes.
So I'm Ralph Steadman all the way. You know, I love the art on the.
They have a really cool
the
website,
glasses,
too.
yeah.
Everything about him's really cool. Now, if you don't know him, Hunter S. Thompson was, the Gonzo reporter, but he also wrote a lot of books, and in his books, Stedman did the artwork. So that's the correlation. And they were guys that, they like to hunt together, they like to blow things up together, they like to gamble together, and of course drink whiskey and beer, which is always important.
Together.
Yes, like George and I, we drink whiskey and beer together.
Yes,
And
we do.
We do every Thursday at 6 on SoFlo Radio on By the Glass Show. This is By the Glass Show. It's a show about beverage culture, and we welcome you to explore with us the wonderful world that we're getting into tonight. Tonight we're getting into a wonderful Super Bowl matchup, and as Dio's back there painstakingly pouring all this stuff in the dark, you can turn the light on. It might help you out. We've made
No.
it so we're going to have little
Well, I
cups.
see what you're doing.
We got little cups.
Okay.
Everybody's going to have an A cup and a B cup. And then we're going to be able to sit down and we do the 8.
Really?
I
You got to
knew
bring that up
exactly-
on the show.
I knew you were going right there. I could see the wheels turning in your head.
When you say B cup around George.
You said that if we went to the beach, you wouldn't talk about it.
And then we're all going to have an AATMF with the B cup. All you dirty
Like,
people at home.
Hefty,
That
lefty, lighty, righty. You know I'm sensitive about it.
means appearance, aroma, taste, mouth, feel, and finish. Don't finish until it's over. So, okay.
So this is number 1.
Or A.
This is letter A for
This is
first
A,
quarter.
A1.
Okay.
For the first quarter now. As we know, we do usually do a nice kickoff here, so we've picked some wonderful beers. And let me tell you something, Ed Roberts always goes out of his way to do a phenomenal job for us, but he really went out of his way. I got to give everybody hats off for Ed Roberts.
Yay, Ed
I think
Roberts.
Ed Roberts
take-
applause.
yeah,
I'm
Because not
wearing
only-
headphones.
Not only did he put together a really great matchup, but he also got some really great guests. I mean, we got some unbelievable. Bob Brewer from the Anchor Brewing Company is going to be calling in about 6:15, and he's a great guy. He's their trade relations manager, and he's going to tell us all about this incredible bet that's going on between these two breweries.
Yeah, that's all over the internet, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So so Bob's going to tell us all about it. And the interesting thing is that we did this last year, and they had the bet last year between New York and Harpoon, Brooklyn and Harpoon. And then it was funny because I was sitting at lunch with Steve Hindy, owner of Brooklyn Brewery,
Right on.
one day, and I was up there visiting the brewery. I was having lunch with him, and I was telling him about the bet, and he said, "Man, that was hilarious. They had to come into our tasting room and." They basically had to. Rich Doyle had to put on a New York jersey and pour in the Brooklyn tasting room. And Rich Doyle had been on the show, just was on the show about 6 weeks after that. If you guys remember, he actually called in because he was down in Miami, and he's the owner of Harpoon Brewery. And I asked him about the bet then too, and he said, "Man, that was the worst thing I ever had to do." So I mean, these things go on and on and on. And I'm glad that we're part of this whole thing, this crazy wild world that we call beer and football, right? One can't exist without the other. So, all right, everybody wants to drink. So,
What's
I wanna
the
drink.
rating? Like those the
Appear-
first
aroma, appearance.
I got that. But what are we
Taste.
rating it? 1 through 5?
yeah, give it a 1 through 5. And remember, don't give too many 5s. I try to keep it all 1s unless they absolutely deserve it. You know what I mean?
What's the F one at the end?
Finish?
Finish.
You should know about that one, George.
It's the one at the end.
Yes. All right,
well,
folks. So,
can we comment while we're doing this?
I wish you would. It's a talk show.
Oh, okay, no problem. I'm catching number A. I think is a little bit more aromatic. Is
You
that
think
a
it's
word?
aromatic? Now,
I think
what
so.
kind of aromatics? So, therefore, it gives you more. So,
It's light.
do you get fruity esters?
I get a little maybe fruity or sweet esters from it. I'm
Okay,
not-
so you're getting some malty fruit,
Yeah.
right? Now, do you get a little graininess off it too? When I say graininess, do you taste like
I was like a little bready.
right?
A little
right?
bready.
A little bready. Yeah, exactly. That's what my mother used to call me when I was a kid.
A little bready.
Now B, B is just a little bit lighter. I mean, it still has a pleasant
Okay,
smell.
so that's good, Jason. So this is first of all, well, we're looking at appearance first, but you know what, Jay? They're both kind of the same. I think A has a little bit of a darker, more robust appearance. So I'm going to give it a 2, and I'm going to give the B a 1 personally. All right.
Stingy with your scores there.
I'm an absolute wedge when it comes
Yeah,
to.
I'm a low ball this time.
Yeah. So basically, yeah. You're gonna lowball it too.
Yeah, well, this is going to be my control here.
So when we talked about the
Give
A
myself
and the
some
really
room.
nice fruity aromas that come off of it, I mean, it is a really bold fruit. I get a lot of fig. You know, like a little bit of nutty
There you
bread.
go. Yeah, as you mentioned the fruits, I pictured
You know,
them
I
in
almost
my
like they
mind.
use a caramel malt to make those kinds of raisin tones.
I'm actually kind of getting a little bit of honey out of this one.
Out of A?
Yeah, a little
Yeah,
bit.
I think so too. I think it's giving a little bit of honey on the nose. Yeah, absolutely, full on. Now that you say it. Now B is a little bit more floral. I get a little more floral aspect, probably from the hops on B. Me personally, and the fruits seem to be a little bit more, maybe dried fruits and not as fresh fruits. Maybe kind of like dried apricots and stuff. Do you get that? Anybody? Anybody getting dried apricots or dried fruits?
I dig it a little bit in the flavor actually.
You get a little more in the flavor.
More in the flavor.
Okay,
yeah.
so I'm gonna have to give A a 2 and B a 1 on aroma as well. All right, so Jason, now that you've tasted, or you guys are tasting, tell me what you
We're
think
tasting.
while I'm tasting.
It's a little light.
Yeah, I mean they're both a little bit lacking in the flavor. I
Yeah.
thought they
They're
would be.
lagers, guys.
Okay.
They're not lacking anything. They're just meant
That's
to
no
be light.
excuse.
Yeah. Casey, what do you think, being a beer professional?
I would use that term very, very lightly. So, you know.
I think it was more a dig.
George didn't laugh.
I think it was more a dig at me and George than.
No, I actually, as of right now, I'm preferring A over B. I mean, you said they're both, lagers, are both supposed to be light and sessionable.
Yeah.
But I think that, to me, I get more out of the aroma for A. For me, that's just a better kind of drinking experience.
Here's the weird
So-
thing. I do appreciate that, because the weird thing for me is, as of aroma and appearance, I've liked A so far, but as soon as I taste them
Mouthfeel?
both,
I'm going
B.
going B,
Well, we didn't get to
yeah.
mouthfeel yet. I'm getting on taste. I'm giving a 1 to A, and I'm giving a 3 to B. And you know why? Because B on flavor, actual flavor, is much more complex and well-rounded. It has what I like to call structure. That means it starts at one place and moves all the way to another. And here we go, calling in hopefully from San Francisco, California, Mr. Bob Brewer. Bob, welcome to the Body Glass Show. How are you tonight, sir?
Well, I'm just fine, thank you. Yourself?
Oh, we're doing excellent. We're doing a little matchup here. Kind of like, I guess it's somewhat going around, we're doing 4 quarters of really great beers, and one of the beers that's being matched up is your fine brewery, Anchor Brewing Company, San Francisco, California.
Well, I thank you very much.
Yeah, no, it's our pleasure, please. So tell me a little bit about this bet that's going on, that you guys got going on out there. I've read a little bit about it on the internet.
Well, it's usually customary when you have championship sports for the various entities in the competing cities to have friendly wagers between one another. The mayors will get back and forth, and our mayor will get a hold of the mayor of the other city, and our wager will be sourdough bread and crab or whatever food or whatever it is from the other city. And we decided to take it one step further and do it with the brewery from the other city. And the payoff is that the losing brewery is required to wear the T-shirts of and pour the beer from the winning brewery's tap room in their tap room for a week.
Interesting, because that's quite a flight. I remember last year we did it with Brooklyn Brewery and Harpoon, and those guys, they only had a 3-4 hour drive, but this is a little bit more of a a little bit more of a flight to get out there. The losers got to get on the plane.
Well, they just sent the beer, and of course we had one going for the championship game last year. We lost.
Oh, okay.
And against New York, so we had to wear the jerseys and pour.
Well, I thought
beer.
I thought you actually had someone from the brewery come out and have to pour in your tap room. That's what they did at the other one. So. Yeah.
Oh well, they had mercy on us, and we just wore their gear.
Oh, okay. Well, that's okay. Well, that's a little bit better. Yeah, it's quite a trip. But San Francisco is such a wonderful. But this time of year, I lived in San Francisco for quite a few years. I know it can be a little bit drizzly, rainy in February, but still a lovely place. All of that. I actually lived there in '96. Last time the 49ers won, and I went to the parade down in North Beach, and it was one of the time of my life. It was absolutely amazing. You guys going to get geared up for that? I mean, fingers crossed.
We are looking forward with great anticipation to having the first Super Bowl victory parade in 18 years in San Francisco.
That's fantastic. Now, if there is a victory on Sunday, are we going to maybe do some kind of special brew for it, or some kind of special event type of thing? I guess.
We hadn't planned a special brew. That takes a while to spin up. But we will definitely have a party at the brewery.
Yeah, and you guys have a really neat little area there down at the local ball field. I've seen pictures of it where you produce where you put out some of your nice specialty beers.
Yes, we have a small sponsorship with the San Francisco Giants, and we have our own dedicated little bar out behind the Megatron beyond center field where we showcase our products.
That's fantastic. Well, we certainly wish you all the best. Basically, what we're doing here is we're going to take some of your fine beers and we're going to match them up against the other guys, and we're going to see who wins. And either way, as far as I'm concerned, you're both winners because you're just absolutely amazing brewery, and we can't thank you enough for calling in on By the Glass.
Well, thank you very much. I went out of my way to procure some samples of the Flying Dog products yesterday and chilled them down, and we had a little impromptu tasting about an hour ago with some of the brewers here in our tap room.
What'd you think? Can you give me a little feedback?
Yes, I can. As a matter of fact, being as how our brewers are proud of what they make, their comments are their own. But my comment is that every brewer has his own interpretation of the classic styles.
Absolutely.
And I'll leave it at that.
Fantastic. That's a good way to leave it. Thanks so much for taking.
If you're gonna mix sports fandom along with beer, of course you're gonna get a little bit of boosterism on our part. So.
There you go. Well, you guys are entitled to a little bit. Believe me, I think that you guys are a big enough iconic brewery to have a little. So I really can't thank you enough for calling in. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on the show, sir, Mr. Bob Brewer from the Anchor Brewing Company. He's the trade relations manager, and an absolute delight. Thank you, sir, and you have a wonderful evening.
All right, thank you.
Take care. Well, very nice guy, and I don't blame him for not boasting too much, because in this world of breweries, we're all really comrades at arms, aren't we?
Exactly.
I mean, we love when people make good beer, and it's a very important thing. Is there another caller on the line?
There's another caller on the line.
Are
you expecting somebody?
I'm expecting somebody at 6:45, but is this Mr. Matt Brophy or no? I think that they were just doing a conference thing so that they could call in. Anyway, so we're getting back to it. Guys, we are in the middle of our Super Bowl matchup. It's Q1, and right now we're matching Anchor Steam Beer, iconic beer, probably one of the first and most well-known beers, American craft beers in the world, against Flying Dog Old Scratch Amber, which is absolutely a beer in its own right, one of the finest nouveau American craft beers.
All right, so you just told us the beers we were drinking, right?
Well, you're supposed to know which two beers. Oh, you don't know which ones they are, though.
I said A and B.
Well, no, they are A and B, Jason, but you don't know which is A and you don't know which is B.
Oh.
Does anybody else?
I was right with Jason. I had no idea what we were drinking.
Oh, okay. Well, you're supposed to know between the two. Didn't we say that we were going to tell everybody what they were?
I thought we were going to tell people at the end.
If you just go to the
But
website,
you don't know which
George,
is which. You
could
still don't know.
follow
I don't
along.
know which is which. I don't know which is A, and I don't know which is B.
I was
No, I
But
have
one
no
of them
idea.
was Anchor Steam, and one of them was Flying Dog Old Scratch Amber Lager.
Right, one is and one is. Yeah, so
We're
as
gonna
we
find
go
out at
on,
the
right.
end?
So as we got
I
to
don't know.
taste, I gave A a 1 and B a 3, and that's what we got. So mouthfeel, as we try it again, Jason, you said you were talking a little bit about mouthfeel. You had a comment.
Yeah,
on
yeah. I had B a little bit edging in front of A for mouthfeel.
Okay, so hold on, I'm doing a little bit. Casey, what are some of your thoughts?
I
on
think that the mouthfeel on both of them is pretty
similar,
similar.
yeah.
There's nothing really to distinguish between
Really?
A or B.
I felt that I'll give A a 2 and B a 3 on mouthfeel because I felt there was a little bit more rounded. Because one's drier than the other, one has more esters. I think one's, I don't know if there's a higher alcohol on one, but what it's done is forgive me for sounding attenuation here, I think. I think one is a little bit more dry alcohol, where the other one has more of a bit of a dextrin, a residual sugar, if you will, an unfermented sugar that gives a little bit more mouthfeel.
I'll give you that.
on the two. And in overall finish, I'm gonna give B a 2, and I'm gonna give A a 2 because they're both exceptional beers. What are you guys giving for overall finish?
Oh, I just added up the
Okay.
points.
Yeah.
That's
So,
fine.
but I have A ahead of B.
So you got A.
I
ahead of
also
you?
have A ahead of B.
Yeah.
Just
All right, so
by
I
a
got
point.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I gave A.
I have
Yeah.
A8, B7, so A ahead.
Are we? It's a total, right? We're totaling.
Yeah.
Yeah. 15
So-
and 15 for A and 14 for B is what I have.
All right, so I
And
got.
and I felt like they were
Yeah.
close. Like,
We're going out of
So
5.
Dio's going to take down
Out of
the.
five?
yeah.
Before this train goes completely off the tracks, Dio's going to take.
We're already there.
Dio's going to take down the total number. So George picked overall which one?
A.
So that's 1 for A. Okay, Dio. I got an 8 to 10. B personally. I picked B.
1 for B.
I got
Casey
A.
Picked A. So 2 for A.
I got A.
Jason picked 3 for A. All right. Now Dio is going to come up to the mic and reveal which is A and which is B.
Anchor Steam was B, and Flying Dog was A.
Wow.
I'm surprised.
I'm
Okay, so I picked
surprised.
Anchor Steam,
I wanted
and
to
you
pick
guys
Anchor
picked
Steam.
Flying Dog.
I
Okay,
thought I was picking Anchor
interesting.
We got all these Anchor Steam coasters
Steam. Damn
in
it,
the
I
studio.
hate,
too.
I hate Baltimore.
Hey, don't say that. Don't say. Oh, you hate Baltimore, the team? Okay, that's fine. You can say that.
I'm not embarrassed by that because I like Flying Dog. I think Flying Dog.
Oh, there's
is
phenomenal. Both these brands are absolutely phenomenal. Look, and these aren't. This isn't like one's good and one's bad. These are the
It,
nuances.
it isn't.
No, the new age. No one loses, George. Everyone gets a trophy, don't you?
Oh
know that?
come
Oh
on!
yeah, that's right.
Oh my God, that's not what I was saying.
That's
All
what
I'm
you
saying
meant.
is, how can you say that Anchor or Flying Dog's bad? Neither one of them are. They're both
Yeah,
great.
no.
They are both very good beers. They're very similar in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, and in Anchor's defense, there was 1 point off.
Yeah.
from mine. So.
Yeah, but you
Really
know
was.
what? There was attributes of A that I really loved, and there was attributes of B that I really loved.
What's the young man getting?
He's going to. He knows he has a list. Yes.
Round 2.
Yeah.
Now,
don't-
do you not
don't
want
trust
me to
his
tell
list.
you what these beers are at all for round 2?
No, I got it pulled up now.
After the fact, you can. It's all the same to me. I love
What
surprises.
does it matter? You don't know which is which. Did that? Yeah, you should know the matchup, right? What do you think, Casey?
Well, what is it again? Because I don't have a piece of paper in front of me. So just tell.
Of their base malt is barley, but then let's say 50% of their adjunct malt is wheat. And you know what the cool thing about Anchor Summer is?
What's that?
Is it's not a hefe. It's not yeasty, cloudy. It's a
Okay, so
clear.
is
It's a
it filtered?
Weizen. It's a crystal. It's a crystal Weizen.
Okay.
So it's a clear wheat beer. Did you know
That's
that?
a good term. Crystal Weizen.
Crystal Weizen. That's what it is.
It is cool.
Now, is the Flying Dog, is that wheat beer filtered?
They are both
Unfiltered.
they are both hefe, which means cloudy, yeasty.
Unfiltered.
Great.
I've had that before.
Hefe Weizen literally means yeasty wheat.
I'm gonna put in my chewing teeth.
A
with, courses,
information, general
festivals, yeah,
information. That's
basically,
great.
you know, just
well, we need a
keeping
guy
people
like
in the
you,
loop.
keeping us all informed.
Right.
I've read some of your stuff, and you're available on Twitter at the Evil Twin, right?
Exactly.
And what? Do you mind?
Why?
Yeah, do you mind? Unless you don't have to tell me.
No, I have a twin brother.
Okay,
so,
cool.
and it was kind of just like on the fly thing. Someone asked
Right.
me what I should do.
Are you the Evil Twin?
I don't know.
George is the Evil Twin. He doesn't even have a brother.
Yeah.
He's the Evil Twin of half of his brain. Hold on a second. You're giving me all B's. What do you?
I say no. You,
okay, so
you just got to divvy 'em
everybody
up.
take one,
B.
boy.
Okay, A.
Okay, so everybody take a B and everybody take an A.
Hold that.
Beautiful. Now we don't know which is which, but we know that there's one of each, and they both are very. You know what? Appearance-wise, they're both fairly similar. One's a little lighter and a little bit more yellow, and one's a little more clear. And
They're
actually,
both
as far
a
as
little bit cloudy, like you're saying.
yeah, well, they're at a very cool temperature, which most ales are not. And it's also brewed in big open vats. It's an old school way of doing things that, of course, this is the American interpretation. And then, of course, the same thing with the Flying Dog.
I have a clear winner for aroma here.
Okay, so hold on, but you're skipping appearance.
Oh,
Well, actually,
I have
the-
aroma then appearance.
okay. So,
So
they
did-
both
so
they're
did
both
I,
very
didn't I?
similar. They both have the fruity wheat, the banana, the clove. They're both medium bodied. Okay. So they both use a classic Bavarian
Yeah,
style.
one's got a lot more banana smell to it than the
You know what?
other.
I'm going to give A good appearance because it's clear and a lot of bright bubbles fizzing up. These types of beers, these types of Bavarian ales, have a lot of carbonation
Right.
by nature, and they should be carbonated, and that should be one of the attributes that we see. So as I stir this cup up, it gives me a lot of really nice, bright carbonation, which also does a great lacing on the glass. So I'm going to give it a 3. What do you guys think?
I'm right there with you.
Now, B doesn't kick up as much, but it's, you know what, though? Once you stir it a little. Yeah, go ahead, Casey.
No, I was with him. I actually went with aroma first,
Okay,
and
that's fine.
I thought that B actually it's got a little bit more kind of like banana cream in
Yeah,
there.
I like the aroma of B better.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm doing a little bit of aroma. Huh?
A smelled a little
To each
hoppy
his
to
own.
me, which is a frightening aroma for me. Just not-
A, I'm
for,
getting
for,
a little
for this
bit
style, yeah, a little hops in there probably.
Oh,
not
you're
so
absolutely
much.
right. So A has a little more what I like to call a classic medicinal or phenol.
I like that.
Right?
Yeah.
Now that
Give me
phenol
medicine.
is kind of
yeah,
like a
B just smells like
Band-Aid,
goodness.
Right? Which one you drinking there, Dio? Dio likes B. Says it's delicious.
Wow.
But as you stick your nose in A, you get more of that classic phenol.
A tastes way
Yeah.
better than it
which
smells.
is which is what they like to call a clove aspect that comes from it. Okay, now B,
I like A.
as we do B. B is definitely, you know what? Casey nailed it. There's a lot more banana cream. I'm getting a lot more fruit. It's definitely a lot less phenol and a lot more bright fruits. So I think A is exceptional on a. A gives you an exceptional, very classic, very strong, good proprietary yeast. So I'm going to give it a 3. I'm actually going high on this. But B, I'm going to give it a 3 as well because I like them both for the different reasons. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yeah.
You're allowed that.
So okay, so now
I'll
we're
be a little more
we're
critical.
getting into taste. And guys, give me some of your ideas on how these two wonderful wheat beers
You can
taste.
see my cups which one I like better.
Well,
obviously.
Jason
Yeah.
seems to be depleting the A. Now tell me about it. What do you think, Jay?
It's just better. I think it finishes better. It's got a little more mouthfeel. It smells better to
a little
me.
crisper, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What do you think?
Well, with the taste B, I mean, you know, the aroma definitely should come over big time in the flavor, which it does.
B falls flat.
Yeah. I think that the taste on it may be a little grainy.
Okay. Okay.
It's just
And the finish?
It's not that it's bad. It's just it lacks in comparison to B as far as the flavor goes. You know, I'm not trying to call it bad.
I'm trying not to be swayed by the mouthfeel because A is just got a wonderful carbonate like
best,
pizzazz
yeah.
that feels really good on your tongue.
Yeah,
and
don't
B
deny it,
B does
George.
taste flat next to it, but I like the flavor of B better. I like the smell and the flavor. There's nothing I don't like about B, and if I didn't have A to compare it to, I'd say like, can I get B as fizzy as A?
Well, there might be age on a certain beer or not. You never know. I mean, there's different attributes. But okay, so let's say I'm liking frick, man. These are great. You know, I think these are both fantastic.
Yeah, who
beers.
matched these together? Ed Roberts?
Ed Roberts. He's the man.
Damn him.
Damn you, Ed.
Okay, so A, absolutely a great beer. B, both these beers seem to have a nice silky aspect. Now, I think that's because they use a base malt of barley, and when you use a base malt of barley, it's going to give you a little bit more of a foundation in order to work your wheat off of. So a wheat can be an adjunct that you actually move around in your malt bill a little bit more, and you can have a little more play with it. Okay, so George, what were you thinking on mouthfeel?
I really like the mouthfeel of A. I mean, it's just
George is going
it's
for
got it's not just carbonated, but it's got like those micro bubbles, kind of like champagne.
Yeah, A clearly mouthfeel.
That's Jason. What are you kidding Casey on a mouthfeel?
I actually think that, to me, both of them are equally as good. But I like what you said with the kind of champagne sort of
micro
yeast
bubbles.
sort of bubbles on it.
I got to go 2 on A, but I got to go 3 on B because B to me is heartier. I almost would think that they put a little, right, Dio? I would almost think that they put a little oat in there or something to give it a real silkiness.
It shouldn't be what you like. It should be what you honestly feel about the actual category of the beer you're tasting at that moment.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Jason,
that was
what you
good.
said?
I like that, Jason. You're absolutely right. No, yeah, but I think that that's how I honestly felt about it. So kiss my ass. But anyway. But so as we get to the finish, right now, that's not add everything up. Finish is an overall impression, and what Jason just said, honestly, is it should be the finish. I mean, the finish category here is which one did you like better, bar none. Which one did you like better, and that's what your finish score should be. George, which one did you like better?
B.
Okay, so you like that.
Easy.
Casey, what'd you think?
B.
Okay, Jason.
A.
Okay, so I'm going with B. All right. So now let's add them up, boys, and let's see what we got as we add them up. Who added them up, Ray? Jason, you want to give me a score?
I got 15-7. A. Winning.
All right. So Dio, you getting that down?
I thought we were just choosing which one won.
We are. He's got
Okay.
15-7. Which one did you like better, Jason?
A. 1.
And A, he's got. Okay, so tell me, Casey.
I had 15-13 B winning.
All right, so that's 1 for B. Okay, I did 12 to
Are you writing that
13 B winning. So another one for B. And George, what do you got?
10-12 with B winning.
All right, so another one for B. Now, if you would please come over and whisper in the microphone, which was the winner?
Sierra Nevada's B and Flying Dogs A.
All right, so Sierra
Damn
Nevada.
it. See, I didn't even know I liked Flying
Sierra Nevada,
Dog.
what was that? The wheat
Sierra Nevada Kellerweiss.
Kellerweiss.
That was some
Beach
good stuff.
Flying
I've
Dog.
had that
I like
before. I
it.
think at one of the conventions, one of the beer fests that we went to. Remember that?
Yeah, 4 to
Très terrible.
Oh, we're having a wonderful time. You know, we're having such a great time. I think I'm going to sit back and take a break. Yeah, I
Right.
like to do that every now and again because I can, because this is my show, By the Glass, on SoFlo Radio on ByTheGlassShow.com.
SoFloRadio.com. Available now in your grocer's freezer. Put a team of professional consultants behind your home or business computer with Key Information Solutions, providing solutions to your internet and computing needs while keeping you on the cutting edge of technology. Preventative maintenance and networking support, hardware and custom-built computers. Let Key Information Solutions be your personal tech staff for your home or office with affordable hourly, monthly, or annual rates to fit anyone's budget. Call Key Information Solutions now. 954-973-3374. That's 954-973-3374. Or visit keyinformation.com.
In these hard economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you have a car, truck, or SUV, you could stop paying for all covered repairs. That's right. You might not have to pay a penny more than you want for repairs. Just call 1-800-610-7840 right now to see if you qualify. Repairs for your engine, transmission, and much more can become a thing of the past if your vehicle has less than 130,000 miles. Just call 800-610-7840 today and get your car protected. It's 1-800-610-7840.
CBC5 is the executive liaison for all your building compliance needs. Serving South Florida from the Palm Beaches to Key West, CBC5 delivers 5-star service that brings
let's just
loyalty, and it's an easy.
SoFloRadio.com every Sunday and Tuesday to hear the best in sports. And remember to follow us on Twitter at Edge and the Heads. Sunday's show is a little different. The Heads cover current events, sports, and me, Natalie Jimenez, discuss the hottest news in entertainment. And for those who want strictly sports, the Tuesday show is just for you. Remember to listen to us on Sundays from 8 to 10 and Tuesdays from 7 to 9. John Etch and the Sports Heads, only on SoFloRadio.com.
And now we return you to By the Glass.
Welcome back to By the Glass. We're having a good time here tonight because we're doing Super Bowl matchup show. California and Baltimore, actually Maryland, going at it. And so far California's winning, but that's what the computer models say. Anyway, so we're having a great time, and we are matching up some great beers. Really, there is no loser because these are fantastic brewers.
Jason's here.
Yeah, I'm here.
These are fantastic brewers, and their beers are just exceptional. And there is no loser when it comes to great breweries such as this. We just had Bob Brewer call in from he's a trade relations manager for Anchor Brewing, and he explained to us the little bet that's going on and what's going to be happening. I thought those guys had to get in the plane and fly.
Yeah, man. That sounds like a hokey bet. They need to get in a plane.
If you lose, you got to get on the plane, man. So no, but they just got to send out the beer and a couple of T-shirts. It doesn't seem like it's that, but hey, I wouldn't mind. It wouldn't matter to me.
Have a new California connection soon to send us some beers that are going to be that are exclusively there.
Oh, that's fantastic! Yeah. Oh, that's great, awesome.
I heard people say they have a California connection.
For
I
something
always
else?
think something else. Yeah,
you dirty little mind. I get the card. Anyway, so for all you farmers out there, it's quarter 3, and we're getting into the fun stuff now. These next two beers are probably some of the best beers. Now, I've often said that one of my favorite American ales, pale ale, not IPA, but pale ale, is Anchor Liberty. So This is one of the next one coming up. And then the Flying Dog Style Classic Pale Ale. These are two of some of the finest American pale ales going, and we're having a real wonderful time. I can hear these guys hemming and hawing over here going,
I can almost guess which one is which by the colors.
Well, Jason, have you ever had either one before?
No.
Okay, so then how can you guess by the colors?
Because classic doggy-style pale ale might be a little paler than the other one?
Oh, I don't think so, because the pale ales are a category.
Which two are we on now? Tell me again.
We are on the Anchor Liberty Ale and the Flying Dog Style Classic Pale Ale. It's funny, Jason, because when I was a beer newbie years and years ago, I would say, well, why do they call it pale ale? It ain't paler than the other beer that's lighter than it.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, exactly, Bill. They call it... Well, how did I become a redneck?
He's impersonating one.
I was born
not a redneck.
I was more of
one
a
on
hick.
the radio.
I was actually more of a hick than a redneck. No, but the pale ale is because it's an ale that's paler than a porter, and that's why they call it pale ale.
Okay.
Because everybody drank porter in England, and they had to roast the malts because they did not have the water chemistry nor the ability to make a beer that pale in any high quality of any time of expedite. So anyway, as we move on. We're tasting these two, Anchor Liberty and the Flying Dog. And, guys, what do you think? We'll start with Jason over there since he's Chatty Cathy.
It could be dark. The lights might be out.
All right, so appearance. I'm gonna go with the. Well, if we're going.
What do you like better, Jay?
I like the pale ale.
You like the paler one.
Yeah.
Why do you like the paler one, Jay? What about it?
Just because it's pale ale and it's supposed to be
perfect.
pale.
What are you thinking, Casey?
Obviously B darker than A. I don't really have a preference per se as far as what the color is.
B looks beautiful. I actually like the amber color, and it seems like these malts are. It's a
beautiful
gorgeous.
amber
It almost
color.
looks like whiskey in a jar.
In fact,
doesn't
I'm
it?
changing my number.
It actually looks like whiskey.
We'll give you that.
And we're moving right along here now. Let's start with Casey this time. Casey, you did mention some of the aroma that's going on there when you were talking about. Which one did you like better and why?
Aroma-wise, I went with A actually because I like when the hops really jump out. At you. When you first stick your nose in the glass.
It had a better nose.
Yeah.
What types of hops did you smell? Was it pine, citrus? Was it more herbal?
Actually, it's a little bit kind of citrus.
You got some citrus out of it, Jason. What are you getting over there? I see you sticking your nose
some
in the
pine,
glass.
citrus, like you're saying.
And which one?
On B, I'm on.
You like
right
B,
now.
and you think that one's got a better aroma to it?
Yeah, I think B has a little bit better aroma.
A is just such a wonderful, almost like an herbal spice. I get a nice almost kind of like a.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with B for aroma.
Okay, all right. So I get A is nice for.
A had an interesting zing of an aroma for me, but when I smelled B has like a burnt sugar, like a vanilla.
Well, they use these caramel malts.
Smells
like toffee.
Beer made from flan.
Coffee. So you can.
I like that.
Coffee. Yeah.
I don't like flan, but